Namaskar, everybody. It's not just the story of my parents, it's everybody's story here, and I hope I can do justice to it. And so, you heard numbers, 350,000 Hindus left, and we are cowards, and you hear all these pieces and bits and pieces, all this information. But if you really think about it, who are we? You saw videos and all that, so I just wanted to make sure that I can put it in a perspective for all of us here. We were chosen by Kashyapa, taken to a land that was supposed to be for education, literature, philosophy, spirituality, because it was the abode of Sharada, abode of Saraswati. And that's where we belonged. And we carried it through till 14th century. When entire India, since from 10th century to 14th century, was getting traumatized and ravished by Gauri, Ghazni, Tughlaqs, Khiljis, Sultanates, we were still holding the fort till 14th century. In fact, in the 10th century, our king, Sangram Raja, he kicked Ghaznavi out. We held the fort till 13th, 14th century. Our official language was Sanskrit. We wrote in Sharda. That was the language given to us by the goddess. So, and we were 100% Hindus. There were nobody else except for Buddhist philosophy, which flourished in Kashmir, went to Tibet, and flourished from there onwards. So this is who we were. And then it started. It started in bits and pieces, but then there's this king who comes, a tribal village, he comes from Central Asia, massacres hundreds and thousands of Hindus, and takes 70,000 Hindus as slaves, and takes them and they perish in a snowstorm. And that's when it started. Fast forwarded to 1990. January 19th, the entire scene has changed. Language is gone. We are not anymore 100%. We're left to 5%. Okay? We are left to 5%. There's fear everywhere. Our community leaders have been killed. They have been targeted. Our houses, people, everybody's labeled. They're posted. The fear is all over. And the state is headless. Our chief minister ran away, the most dishonest, disloyal, incompetent chief minister ran to London, Farooq Abdullah. State has no head. On 19 January 1990, there was nobody who could manage the state. The government of India appointed Jagmohan. He hasn't reached Kashmir. He's still on his way. He's in Delhi or Jammu somewhere. And there's nobody who is there at the helm of affairs. There's total turmoil. You can feel it in the air. You can see people coming out on the roads in thousands. And you know something is going to happen. Thousands. And we live less than a half kilometer away from the epicenter, which was JKLF's headquarters, Mysuma. JKLF was the main militant organization that started this whole thing. And it was less than a half a kilometer, I think it's not even a half a kilometer. And you could feel what was happening. We're just, as Virender said, we're just 3 houses, Hindu houses. Our house, there was a Madans, they used to live next to us. They had a guest house, and there were Suris who lived right opposite us. Sanjay Suri, the actor, his dad and mom. There were just 3 Hindu houses. And you can feel that everybody was getting together there. And they were talking, they were planning, So there was a plan. And it's a cold winter night, right? It's January, Kashmir. And as sun sets, darkness comes in, it's let loose. 20,000 mosques all over Kashmir are reverberating. The slogans are, you know, we want Nizam and Mustafa. What do we want here? We want we want to push the Hindu men out, kill them, either they perish, leave their women here. All kinds of things that will only make you tremble, fear. And I know so many of parents told their daughters, go to the top floor, if something happens, jump. If they lived on the bank of the river, they said, okay, go and drown yourself. If they lived next to the lake, they said, drown you. I mean, that was the kind of fear that was created for all of us that night. And then at 11, so there's no cell phones, nothing. There's, you have to imagine what the time was, right? And people are desperately, whoever has a landline, you'll be lucky if it's working. So they're trying to desperately call some people. We knew some brigadier, we called him. We said, do you guys know what's happened? He said, don't worry, we heard there's something, government is looking into it. That's what I heard from my dad, I remember. And then they, suddenly at 12 o'clock, you are hearing screams, you are hearing gunfights, violence, and you see these thousands of people rushing down from Gaukadal, which is where I lived, into our street, and there are thousands of people banging on our gate, okay? Banging on our gate, open the gate, otherwise we'll blow up your house. And my mom, dad, we have a servant, they're home, and my uncle and aunt, they didn't know what to do. If they don't, the house will be blown up. So they finally, there's a Harrison big lock, they go, they open the door, thousands of people come in, and they have militants with them who are blood-ridden bodies with them, okay? So it's a catch-22. Can you imagine a situation? Now if army comes, what would they think? So there are militants and their supporters with guns. There's guns all over, okay? And this becomes a triage center, and there's from somewhere nurses pour in. People come with drips and they start using that. All night that happens. And finally next morning, they just vanish. Within 3-4 weeks, everybody's out. Hindus are leaving. My uncle sends a driver from Jammu with a taxi. They drive one car and they put stuff in one taxi and leave. There's out of seven Hindu homes in that whole entire neighborhood, there's only 5 people who stayed back. And out of those 5, 3 got killed. 2 Hindus, 2 men and 1 lady. So that's kind of fear that we had to live through. And when we talk about like going back and staying back, it's that trauma of all this we can never forget. And it's the pain that we live every night. We think of it every night. So I only hope that we all hope that nobody ever had to go through this pain. This is, the killings and the sufferings of our parents who were in their 40s. They had their old aging parents, and they had us who were still in the school. You can imagine how they had to manage that. The trauma of that, taking care of their old parents, putting us through the schools. Overnight, everything is gone. And that's who we are. That's who we are. But we survived. And we have survived. Even if we are 350,000, we are survivors. I think that's the only positive message that you can take. This was my house. You can see they turned into garbage. this is, and there's a picture before that, and this is how long looked. You can see flowers and people. My grandmother sitting there, and then you can see it turned into a garbage dump, literally garbage dump after 10 to 15 years. And now they broke it. There are 5 houses built on that property, including a street. So I'll finish it with a small line. छोड़ कर तेरी ज़मीं को दूर आ पहुँचे हैं हम, फिर भी दिल में है तमन्ना, फिर भी दिल में है तमन्ना, तेरे ज़र्रों की कसम, हम जहाँ पैदा हुए थे उस जगह पे निकले दम, तुझ पे दिल कुर्बान, तू ही मेरी आरज़ू, तू ही मेरी आबरू, तू ही मेरी जान। आनपन सदरस नाविछस लमान, करबोज daimyon mekti Amen taken point shaman zuchum brahman gar Zu chum brahman